Hello and good morning. Let me put that up there and go to here. How is everybody this morning? Holy, I have had such a busy morning. I have been on Zoom and meetings literally since 6 a.m. And I do this honestly because I am so immersed in the absolute most best energy and information in the world. I say that with absolute confidence. I can look directly at that little dot there looking at me with the green light beside it and say the information that I teach and that I coach, sorry, that's my cards, is by far the best information for personal transformation and personal development out there. And the sooner you can realize that as a potential client, because I know that if you listen and you watch me, if you are not my client already, it is just a matter of time, because you know there's something about this that is attracting you. So sometimes I pull a card, sometimes I don't. Last time I did, I feel compelled to pull one today. So I am going to do that right now. And with that, the card is, I can change my life by changing my thoughts. Okay? This comes from the deck of the Law of Attraction, like I've said before, the Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. One of my very favoriteest decks. And it says this on the back side: by choosing a thought that feels slightly better than the thoughts you have been thinking, you can gradually change the direction of your thoughts. By focusing upon a better feeling thought, the law of attraction will respond to that thought, and therefore the balance of your thoughts will now improve. Cool stuff, hey? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. My name is Julie Townsend, and I am the founder of Quantum Connections Incorporated. It is my desire to provide a space for a higher level of awareness to those asking, what is this all about? And to provide insight of our innate abilities for one to live a life of creativity, clarity, and purpose. Using our higher faculties gives us the ability to be calm with understanding and develop habits of attracting with ease rather than trying harder. We are so conditioned and we think that we need to try harder all the time. That is not the case, and that's what I have found out. I just want to make sure everything is good on this screen. We're good. A lot of times I'll be talking away. I'll look over and I've got the mute button on. So I'm glad that's not happening. Today we are going to talk about magnetic energy. It's an interesting topic. So have you ever wondered why or how people naturally gravitate to one another and discover a surprisingly intimacy or a connection? There's a kind of magnetic energy, like an invisible ray of light, that gently pulls people together so to form something beautiful that can be shared. As in the saying, birds of a feather flock together, it comes from an instinctual need to belonging. You might say we need community to survive, to thrive, to grow. We humans are social creatures. After all, none of us are meant to be alone. The concept of being is important. Have you ever found yourself in a group or a setting where you just knew you were in the right place at the right time? Well, I felt that way 2 years ago. I really had absolutely no idea why I was heading to Minnesota during a time in my life that was very unhappy, disrupted, uncertain. But the minute that event started and this old man named Bob Proctor walked out on stage, to whom I'd never heard of, I'd never met him, I knew nothing of him, there was something magnetic and an energy was telling me I was exactly where I needed to be. No question. It was like a strand of connection, immediate connection. I found a deeper and more extensive way of looking at the world, understanding myself, and a firm realization of what I was attracting. Not good. So when you are starting to become who you are meant to be, connecting to a community and participating in fellowship of that community is the best way for you to grow. You will flourish as a part of that network of like-minded and light-hearted people. Your intuition will tell you what kind of people they need to be, what community that needs to be. Stick to what feels good. Tap into that higher resource, of that higher innate ability called intuition. It will resonate with your heart. When you get in alignment with the communities which fit your energy, you'll discover everything you are hoping for, and you will receive much more than you'll ever be expecting. So we, as spiritual beings, are meant for growth. We are continually looking for expression and growth. And if we do not get it, we are dying. There's no in between. I've learned this. There's no fence sitting or gray area. You are going forward or you are going backwards. So when I talk about magnetic energy, I'm not just referring to the attraction or unhappy person who enters the room and you feel them. No, I'm referring to what you're attracting. If you were to look at yourself as a solid piece of magnetic material, what are you drawing in? If everything else was magnetic, what are you drawing in? It might be a disheartening exercise for some of you, because you might realize that your thoughts are not as pure as you would have liked them to be, and it's no wonder you've attracted the life you live. That was me. That was exactly where my realization came true in St. Cloud, Minnesota. The light went on. So there's no better time to be honest with yourself and understand that whatever is in your life right now, you've attracted it. And don't get all bent and think, oh my God, how do I undo this? It's okay. It's already history. It's already a manifestation of a past thought. So just start thinking better. And then what will follow will be better. Make sense? So every single thing you have in your life, you've attracted. No one is responsible except for you. That was a big ouch for me to realize that, because I was so busy blaming everybody else for my problems. It was me. So now I'll let you off the hook a little bit, only because I have come to realize that there's a gigantic part of our mind that controls our body, and that is, of course, the subconscious mind. Now, within the subconscious mind is called a paradigm. That is our programming. It has been mainly formed from our environment, but it also came from our genes and many habits that were passed on even from our parents and grandparents. However, we can play the blame game only until we know better. And then once we become aware, our responsibility is to change. It's no longer anyone else's fault that we think the way we do, because you're now aware, right? And once you become aware, you got to do something about it. So we all have magnetic energy attracting both good and bad. It's the bad that we want to relinquish. Okay, we can look at ourselves on paper and begin at once to choose the thought patterns we want to change. Notice that I didn't say eliminate, because you can't eliminate them. They're part of your DNA. They're in you. They are a part of your programming. This is where many people get really tripped up We think that we can just stop eating chocolate cake in order to lose weight. I'll stop eating sweets. But if we don't replace that chocolate cake with something of the total opposite, because that's in alignment with the laws of the universe, such as carrot sticks or celery sticks, or just something healthy. That's a little extreme on the healthy, but you know where I'm going with this. But if you don't replace it with something naturally opposite, something will naturally fill that void that is another negative. So when we look at ourselves on paper and we wish to stop certain thought processes or emotions, we must replace them with a polar opposite in order to see results. So that's what aligns with the laws of the universe, and that's why it works. Because if you're in alignment with the laws of the universe, things will work. When we don't, we're frustrated and confused and wondering, why isn't this working? Because we're not in alignment. We're not following order. Again, if we simply stop chewing gum, we will find ourselves in time perhaps sucking on hard candies or something. If we stop chewing gum and then consciously say, every time I have an urge to chew gum, I'm going to chew on toothpicks or straws, you'll have better results at stopping chewing gum. So why are we such a feely bunch anyway? This should be another discussion, but it's worth mentioning here to tie this conversation of magnetic energy all together. Okay? We have become a memory to an emotion that we've had in our life. You got to follow me closely on this, okay? So we've become a memory to an emotion we have had in our life. We have become that feeling. It starts from an emotional reaction to an event in our lives, which lingered into a mood, and that mood developed into our temperament, which created our personality. That's kind of how we get hardwired. So what is exciting is that this memory of ourselves, this feeling that we have allowed ourselves to be mentally and physically bound by, has nothing to do with the future. Because now you know, you are aware, you can change it. Some of these survival emotions that have created us into what we are today are, and I have never said so many negative words in one sentence, but I will just for the sake of getting this across, but some of these survival emotions could be insecurity, hatred, judgment, victimization, worry, guilt, depression, shame, anxiety, regret, suffering, frustration, fear, greed, sadness, disgust, envy. Ugh! Like, just saying these words is just heavy for me. But you get the point. There's a lot of things that we carry, a lot of baggage, a lot of corrupt thinking. So understand that these emotions are always usually tied together. For example, when you're angry, you're frustrated. When you're frustrated, you hate. If you hate, you judge. When you judge, you're envious. When you're envious, you're insecure. It goes on and on and on, and they're all intertwined. Okay, so for this chat, let's pick one that you want to work on immediately. So for example, let's pick the common one, anxiety. A lot of people suffer from anxiety. The opposite of anxiety is calm, calmness, well-being. Okay, that's the opposite. So first off, the focus will be to write out many times a day, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a calm person. Just do that. Write it, say it, think it, write it, say it, think it. This immediately will change the energy of your being. The message you will be sending out to the universe, so this is another law of the universe, cause and effect. You're sending out that you're calm. And therefore, what's going to come back? You'll be calm. So it's likeness that you will receive. You send out anger, somebody's going to get angry at you back, right? So it's the same concept, but we're using it consciously to think, I am calm, I am collected, I am aware that I can do this. One of the greatest laws is this cause and effect. So it's kind of like what my grandma taught me. She said, treat others how you want to be treated. Likewise, when you feel anxious and you're pushing that anxiety out there, that's exactly what's coming back. That's what you're attracting, is more anxious people, more of the same. So start with what it is you want to see for immediate change. And because you're aware now, do it today. You will become a new and improved magnetic force, and your life will actually begin to show the benefits of being a positive force rather than a negative one. That was it. We are, I don't know where we're at. Minutes, 16. I didn't know where the clock was. It's over there. I just wanted to wrap this up in a shorter version because it's a very powerful topic of the awareness of knowing that you are the cause of your own environment. If you don't like the space that you're in, you are the one that has the power to change it. And if you don't feel like you have the power to change it, say you're in amongst a lot of negativity or a lot of people that you don't feel you have the strength to change it around, leave. You still have the power of choice. You don't have to remain in that environment. You have two legs. You can leave. So I want to wrap it up by just saying, I thank you for listening to these lives. The next live we're going to touch on is Self-Care 101, self-image, self-care, hugely important for success in life. And I get a lot out of these lives. They're so impactful to me to teach the material that I know. And it just fills me up. It just fills me up knowing that I can perhaps touch somebody's life out there that needs to hear this, that they're looking like I was looking, and that they are just eager to know, how can I change? Stick with me. Hang on to my coattails. I know exactly how you can change because I've done it. And if you want to book a consult with me and just have a coffee chat or a Zoom, or now we can meet in a coffee shop and have a live meeting, a live consult, give me a call or message me. I would love to sit down and chat with you and see if we can work together. It would be great. Thank you for listening to my lives. I look forward to seeing you next week. It possibly could be 10 again. Why I'm changing it to 10, and I will be in August, is because my husband has a BNI meeting at 9, and then he has it flows over into something else that he needs to do for BNI, and we are in the same office. So it's difficult. And I was trying to do it downstairs in my other office, but my internet is not great down there. So that is why things are just changing to be in more flow. So we will talk to you next time. Until then, intuitively yours, use your higher faculties. We'll talk to you later.